Yo everybody, what's going on? This is Keegan from Kman Reviews. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you hit that like and the subscribe button, and if you have any opinions at all that you would like to share, leave them down in the comment section. The Night Game, self-titled. The Night Game are an American rock duo consisting of Boys Like Girls frontman Martin Johnson and Australian multi-instrumentalist Kieran J. Callanan. Thank you to a viewer for suggesting this band and their debut self-titled album released in 2018. I was looking pretty forward to covering this band. Apparently it's some sort of synth pop rock, bit of alternative in there as well. The band has worked with acts like Kygo, they've been on tour with John Mayer. It's crazy how much can happen in the span of one hit single. But where does this album stack up? Let's find out as I review it track by track. We'll start with the singles, with there being two of them. The first one being the big hit and the album opener, The Outfield, which had me fooled on first listen, as vocalist Martin Johnson almost reminded me of Adam Levine. After that superstition passed, the track is pure bliss. The alternative indie rock foundation with the drums, soothing guitars combined with the retro synths is a match made in heaven. That chorus as well, the falsettos, the pop presence radiating out of every word, it amazes me how I haven't heard this band yet under any circumstance. Lyrically, it's about chasing this girl, but she can't seem to make up her mind, hence why he's standing in the outfield. What a song, worth listening to. And the second and final single, Once in a Lifetime, leans more towards the alternative rock side of the band's styles, with very little synth, focusing more on deep drums and a steady bass line, along with Martin's varied vocals that really glide their way through the track. One big complaint I have with the song, though, is that it's a little bit too long. The track reaches a full 5 minutes, 1 minute and 30 seconds alone dedicated to an outro instrumental. The song probably could have been cut. It starts to drag for a little bit too long. Lyrically, it has a positive, optimistic undertone, but deals with situations like a month-long headache and pushing people away because he likes the silence. In all honesty, I think this could have been executed a little bit better. Pass. Now for the rest of the tracks. Bad Girls Don't Cry is easily the funkiest song on this record. There's a clear 80s pop inspiration here, the clippy synth melody, the harmonized background vocals, the occasional electric guitar riff to balance it out. It really reminds me of something that Chromeo would do, and I'm not complaining about that at all. There is so much fun to be had with this song, as Martin sings about how this girl is trying to put on this image of being a bad girl, but when she starts crying or getting upset, she just shakes it off, saying that bad girls don't cry. This is a banger, one of my favorites here. Do You Think About Us featuring Caroline POLACHEK really embraces the synth-pop direction Caroline's been going ever since breaking off of Chairlift and going solo. And it's pretty solid. But if I can say one complaint though, the chorus is a little bit clunky. It doesn't have the fluid feeling that an instrumental like this deserves. Regardless, said instrumental is great. It's smooth, it's glossy, it's immaculate, and I also enjoy how both Martin and Caroline each contribute equal parts to the track. Martin takes first verse and chorus, Caroline takes second verse and chorus, then they both come together for a split final chorus. It's symmetrical and it's satisfying. Lyrically, it's about how this partner moved on and now the other one wonders if they still think about them together. Pretty solid song. I enjoy it. The Photograph opens up with a solid 12 seconds of silence, but then the poppy, bubbly synths kick in, creating this delicate, entrancing vibe. That chorus is really well done. It's got such a warm, capsulating comfort to it as Martin sings with a near fragile falsetto. It's pretty touching, and lyrically it's about how this relationship ended, but they have these memories locked in photographs, and he knows they'll always be together in said photographs. Honestly, this is one of the underrated hits on this record. Give this a listen. Sunset on the Beltway is a short 1 minute and 39 second instrumental interlude. There's really nothing to this one aside of the sweeping build-up it presents, so it's whatever. American Night seems like it really wants to be this indie radio hit, and it has every aspect to be such. A bit more of a moody, somber instrumental led by that gorgeous piano, the hip-hop flavored percussion, plus a stripped-down chorus and an actual drop. Martin's vocals fluctuate quite a lot on this track. 1 minute on the verses he's in a lower, more effortless delivery. Then the chorus switches from monotone singing to a falsetto that kind of reminds me of Charlie Puth. Lyrically, it's a pretty carefree party anthem. Pretty good song. I like it. Die a Little tones things back instrumental-wise. The chugging bass line, the airy thumps of the drums, they all feel like they're being held back. It's a very mellow sound. That even applies to Martin's vocals. The highest he really gets comes in the form of one yell after the final chorus. But aside from that, it's mostly a breathy falsetto. His presence through the verses is like butter. Plus, the track really did need to have a 45-second instrumental outro. I think it could have been cut after a couple of seconds, but just a minor nitpick. Lyrically, it's about how the heartbreak from this relationship actually ended up helping him, and that he died a little, but it taught him how to live alone, how to survive. This is a good song as well. Summerland is the closest this album gets to a ballad. It opens up with a very soothing, angelic piano which dissipates for a light drum rhythm and ambient synths. In all honesty, as much as the instrumental is pretty, it doesn't really do all that much. The main factor for that being Martin's voice. It's very flat and dull, doesn't portray much emotion at all aside from a brief falsetto. It kind of kills a lot of the fire the song might have had otherwise. Lyrically, it's about searching for this true love in paradise. Meh, I think I can pass on this one. Coffee and Cigarettes, the longest track on this record, barely missing out on 5.5 minutes, and it's this weird, almost housey R&B crossover track, the hypnotic synths, the steady drums. It's definitely a song to get lost in. Not to mention Martin's softer, more basic delivery makes sense here, much more than the previous song, so when he ramps it up a bit, it just feels like so much more. Lyrically, it's about how this girl broke his heart and now he's left with pretty much nothing, just the coffee and cigarettes. This is a good song. And finally, the closer, Back in the Van, changes things up pretty heavily with its chiptune-inspired synths and a more luxurious flavor with the keyboards. Martin has a very confident moxie to his vocals. It's strangely empowering to listen through the song. It almost feels like I'm listening to this in Las Vegas. It feels like one of those songs. It's quirky, it's fun, it's charismatic, and with these lyrics about traveling the world in this van, going from city to city without a care, this is a standout worth hearing. Overall, consider me a brand new fan of this band because there's some enjoyable stuff here. A lot of fun, bouncy, retro-tinged bops, also some slower, moodier alt-rock cuts as well. It's varied and shows fantastic potential on this group's debut album. I'll be waiting for that next album that's hopefully dropping next year, but in the meantime, I'm feeling an 8 out of 10 on this album. Well guys, hope you enjoyed that review. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.